Now, did you know there are 15 member nations who form part of the United Nations Security Council? Well, 5 of those are permanent members: the United States, the United Kingdom, France, Russia, and China. Well, the rest are non-permanent members that serve on a 2-year rotation. Africa has 3 non-permanent seats. Niger and Tunisia will replace Cote and Equatorial Guinea in January 2020, while the 3rd seat, currently occupied by South Africa, comes up for replacement in January 2021. Now, both Kenya and Djibouti bid for the seat. The African Union unanimously endorsed Kenya 37-13 in July, but Djibouti insists it wants to take the campaign all the way to the floor of the United Nations General Assembly, where the official voting is scheduled for June 2020. Well, this past week, Kenya embarked on a bold mission to try and convince the world that it deserves to be the 3rd African non-permanent member. Jeff Koinange was at the United Nations in New York and tells us why it is critical for Kenya to be at the table of the 15-member body.
The sweet sounds of the Safari Calm Choir. This is not the Michael Joseph Center in Nairobi, but an upmarket hotel in New York City, part of Kenya's kickoff campaign to convince the world that it is serious about securing a non-permanent seat at the United Nations Security Council. Hundreds of diplomats and ambassadors from around the world were present, as were Kenya's best and brightest. This is Kenya's latest diplomatic double play, celebrating its heroes and heroines on the global stage while sending a message to the world that Kenya is a safe bet for a seat at the big table.
Well, this turnout is an indication of the confidence of the world about Kenya. It is a message about us being a safe pair of hands. It's a message about the desire to have Kenya's leadership, is what it is.
Her principal secretary, himself a seasoned diplomat, who knows his way around the corridors of the United Nations, having worked there for decades, says Kenya is a safe pair of hands, both regionally and across the continent.
It means that we're a country that understands the issues of peace and security in our region. We're also a country that understands the issues of development in the world. And when you put those two things together, you understand that you're dealing with a country that has the capability to deliver on its part and on the part of Africa for peace and security.
So the turnout at this event for Kenya's bid for a non-permanent seat in the United Nations has been quite impressive. 450, maybe 500 people giving their support. But the real test will come 7 months from now, in June 2020, when Kenya needs a minimum of 129 votes to secure that seat. The question is, from the turnout here, will that be possible? Earlier in the day, the cabinet secretary was busy warming up with her fellow global diplomats for a morning run around New York's famous Central Park. A symbolic setting, because just last week at the New York City Marathon, Kenya destroyed the field of more than 30,000 runners by coming first and second in both the men's and women's races.
We are a winning nation, and the fact that these elite athletes came, you could see their pull factor. So we are having all these PRs that jog every week, and they figured out this was the day to have a rub with the world's best.
Yeah.
And so we are having a group of ambassadors, a group of election officers that have had the morning of their lives, basically.
The CS insists Kenya's race for a United Nations non-permanent seat is much like a marathon, which, she says, her nation is world famous for winning.
Last week, right here in New York, they reminded us again. So we are on this winning streak, and that is why we feel very confident as the MFA that we are going to ride this wave and come out winners.
Now, it is no secret that Kenya is one of the continent's leading proponents when it comes to peace and security, having contributed more than 40,000 peacekeepers to conflict areas like Somalia, South Sudan, the Democratic Republic of Congo, Liberia, Sierra Leone, and other hotspots across the continent.
Excellencies, may I?
Back at the campaign launch, Kenya's standing on the continent is both appreciated and commended by other African countries.
South Sudan is a testament to what Kenya could do. Kenya has hosted our refugees. Kenya has participated in peacekeeping. Kenya, Machakos, our independence was negotiated, in Naivasha, and Machakos gave us the self-determination. So everything Kenya has done for South Sudan, I think these are the records why Kenya should be in the Security Council.
Kenya has been very engaged in the peace and security initiatives in both our region and the continent at large.
We are confident that Kenya will be able to clinch it and will be able to serve Africa with dignity and diligence that we have shown even before.
We are non-aligned. We support. We have relationship with all the 5 member states, permanent member states in Africa, and we can hold the value. We can hold that consistency than any other country in Africa right now. Yeah, Kenya is ready to serve.
As for the athletes turned peace ambassadors, being recognized and appreciated on the world stage has made them more patriotic than ever.
Na hapa unaona kama tutapata hii kiti, Kenya itashinda hii kiti.
Yeah, nina matumaini sababu nimeona vile wana campaign kabisa. Nina hope kabisa watapata hii kiti.
I think we have a very good chance of getting it, and I really know we shall get it.
For us to be able maybe to campaign and have to have this seat, Kenya is going to serve all.
The seat is not only for Kenya, it's for our region.
As an anchor state and a guarantor of peace in our region, we shall bring these experiences and nuances to the Security Council.
Now, Kenya has between now and June 2020 to continue its campaign for that all-important slot. Now, that building behind me, the United Nations General Assembly, is where the voting will take place. And Kenya requires a minimum of 129 votes to secure the 3rd African slot as a non-permanent member of the United Nations Security Council. Jeff Koinange, Citizen Television, at the United Nations headquarters in New York.